Pour rappel, ce n'est pas une exclue PlayStation 5. Sortira également sur Xbox et PC.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the first Hogwarts
Vous avez les
Legacy
sous-titres.
gameplay stream. I'm Chandler Wood, community manager here at Avalanche Software, and we've got a lot of really exciting stuff to show you today. But before we get into showing you the game and gameplay, I have a few wonderful guests that I need to introduce you to. First up, we have our community guest host. He brings you the latest and greatest in Hogwarts Legacy content. He's the local Merlin conspiracy theorist.
Guilty as charged, yes.
One half of Expecto Go,
Yeah.
James Whitehead.
Thanks, Chandler. Yes, I'm James Whitehead of Expecto Go, bringing you guys the latest and greatest in Hogwarts Legacy content. And I am one half of Expecto Go, the other half, my wife Sue, represents that other half. So I'm excited to be here, and thank you, Avalanche Software, for inviting me. I cannot wait to go over this gameplay. I just got to say that.
Welcome, thank you for being here. And we've got two people from the studio, just two of the many people bringing this thing together, the magic of Hogwarts Legacy. Game director Alan Tu.
Hello, everyone.
And senior environment artist
Excusez-moi,
and
je prends
Hogwarts
son nom, je l'ajoute
expert,
sur LinkedIn.
Boston Madsen. So thank you for taking time out of your very busy schedules right now to sit down with us to help us show everybody gameplay. So what we're going to be showing you today, first, the character creator, because it's your legacy, and you have to create yourself when you get into to get into Hogwarts and bring your whole authentic self to Hogwarts. So we're going to show you that character creator. Then we're going to dive into a tour of Hogwarts, and it's just a small tour of Hogwarts, right? Because Hogwarts is huge.
J'avais même pas remarqué. J'avais même pas remarqué que
So we're going to be showing you a little
sosie, le mec.
bit. It's still a lot. So, and finally, ending up with combat. A little taste of combat, a little taste of how all that works.
J'attends qu'il remonte. Hein.
Just a little taste.
C'est vrai qu'on n'a pas exactement le même pull.
We're excited to get there. But again, first and foremost, we need to get into
Attendez, je vais
this
mettre mes
character
lunettes.
creator. And James, with you here, we wanted to let you
Il a la même
create
coupe
this
que moi, mais
character.
c'est un ouf.
So,
C'est dingue ça.
Andrew, who is going to be doing all of our gameplay capture today, is going to be handing you the controller.
Oh my gosh.
Sur
All right,
PS5,
I won't
hein.
break anything. All right, so what are we looking at right here on this screen?
These are your presets. So a lot like other games, there's some initial settings that you can choose for your character that just kind of get them into like the ballpark of what you want to be, who you want to be, and what you want to change.
Oh man.
And then once you're in that ballpark, all of the other tabs let you dial that in, be exactly who you want to be. It's our goal with this is to make sure that for anyone that fantasized about bringing themselves.
Après, on est sur une caractérisation donc plutôt classique au début, donc on a les presets. Ensuite, vous allez pouvoir agencer ce preset-là pour faire votre personnage de base.
Options galore. Do you mind if I try to put myself in here right quick?
It's all about you.
Okay. All right. So, okay, yeah, that's me. We're here. That's me right there. All right, so that's step one.
We're pretty close, but let's look at everything.
C'est vrai que les visages.
Play around with some of these options.
On regarde beaucoup dans le vide quand même.
All right, so what are we looking at with this option over here with the tab? I see.
Il y a pas mal de trucs quand même.
Yeah, so a lot of the different faces that you saw in the previous screen, all those faces.
C'est vrai que oui, les couleurs de peau pour les personnes qui sont noires.
So you can.
Bah moi je trouve que ça fait vachement bien.
Yeah.
Pas mal d'autres jeux effectivement.
And then because we knew a lot
Oui, c'est vrai qu'il est en train de me faire. Enfin, moi, je suis plus foncé de peau quand même.
You know, it's an option later in the game.
Yeah.
You can collect different types of glasses, put them on later. We give you some options right up front. If you
Il y a un
want
petit air
glasses
quand
for
même.
your character.
Oh man. Oh my gosh. Look at the structure of the faces with this. Wow.
Non mais là c'est. Non par contre là, pour moi là en fait.
I like that. I don't think my face is that.
Enfin, j'ai pas ces
skinny,
cheveux là
but I think
exactement.
we'll go that route. And down here is this.
Those are your glasses
This
there. Yeah.
Oh, so we could go Harry Potter if we want. Off the jump. Oh man.
Et les gars, vous
And
savez
this is the
que.
sum of the options, I'm assuming.
Yeah, so through the
Vous savez
course
que
of
je
the
vais
game,
me faire
there's
dans le
a
jeu,
lot-
hein, je pense.
There's a lot of different
Vraiment.
options that you'll keep unlocking.
Okay.
So as part of kind of like gear for the character, there's lots of different classes. There's even masks. There's all kinds of things.
C'est
over
pas
the
une
course
lunette de
of the game.
Dumbledore ça
Council
normalement?
Victorian era, though.
En 2001
Yeah, right up front.
Very
Such a
authentic.
good call. Such a good call. Oh my gosh. All right. So now, we can go sleek on this one with the hair.
Non, là c'est pas moi par contre.
I spend a lot of time here just like dreaming about my different characters. And what
Oh
they're gonna
my
be
gosh, the pony. The thing I'm always amazed
Genre un ego.
by whenever I see any aspects of Hogwarts Legacy's character creator is just the texture. And like you even adding the bounce with the hair moving around. Yo, that kind of looks like Hermione a little bit. I'm not even gonna just like Fred. I'm not Fred. And we can just go. Can I go like Tonks purple or green a little bit?
Absolutely.
Oh. Yo, this is so cool. Oh, I like that. That is cute. Oh, okay, so,
En vrai, cette coupe-là, elle est trop stylée. Hein. Cette coupe, elle est trop stylée. Ça fait un peu Corlys Velaryon dans House of Dragon.
I wanted silver tips, so that was the closest I got to any color. But oh my gosh, this is so cool.
Et bon,
so
ça va. C'est des coupes de cheveux, hein, frère.
There's a myriad of textures and different hairstyles here. All right, so now we're getting over here to play around with some of the...
These are more subtle options.
Okay.
We've got freckles, moles, different things like when it comes to your complexion, like darker eyes, maybe like some shading on the cheeks.
Oh, man. You guys literally thought of everything with this.
I do have a bit of fun with that. And then the scars are one of those options where...
En vrai, la personnalisation est assez dingue quand même.
Scar, but you can come in with different scar options.
Yeah.
Elle est vachement bien foutue, quoi.
Oh, wow. Look at that. I didn't even see that.
Oh, those are my favorite. The eyebrow scars.
Yeah.
Love those.
Yeah. You look kind of
it's a
like,
classic.
Yeah, you look kind of just like tough. But anyway, so now we're over here. Oh man, you guys, this is so sick.
Again, getting more subtle here, you know, really like dialing in that face to really get.
Franchement, ils ont bien bossé.
Parce
que autant pour les visages, j'avais un gros doute sur le trailer parce que je me disais ils étaient vachement plastiques. Mais franchement.
You have so many options just starting the game. I feel like I'm going to be here like forever.
Et Gazus, le mec qui joue, il a pas fait de jeu, lui c'est un mec de la communauté qui est venu. Donc lui, le mec, il est en transe totale. On sent qu'il y a des options comme ça dans d'autres jeux, bien sûr.
But you know, here's where you bring you choose voice 1 or voice 2, which is more kind of a masculine or feminine
les différents niveaux de
even
difficulté.
within that, changing your pitch, the pitch slider.
It's a subtle slider, but you can hear it.
Facile, normal, difficile.
And so you can kind of make out the differences. But yeah, you choose which kind of voice that you want. You'll be selecting your difficulty here. For today, we'll just go normal.
Histoire, facile, normal,
Andrew's going to be
choisir
taking
prénom,
us
nom de
through some of the
famille.
experiences with combat
Et dans
later.
quel dortoir on veut aller. Par contre, la question que je me pose, c'est du coup, est-ce que si on fait un homme, on peut aller dans le dortoir des filles?
The important thing here is like if for people who aren't gamers,
horrible,
especially,
right.
Story mode is a way to get into this without being worried about like, oh, do I need to be good at games? Like, no, just enjoy this game.
And I will put expecto and then go. We're good. Awesome.
And then whether you want to be.
On ressemble un peu, ouais, effectivement.
Amazing.
What do you think, character creator? We're good.
I'm good. Let's explore Hogwarts and let's get into some combat.
All right. Through the magic of using a dev kit, we're going to be loading up a save a little later in. So that we can show you more about Hogwarts and give you that taste of combat. All right, Andrew's got some gameplay pulled up for us here. We are starting out, James. There you are.
Alors,
You're wearing
on a
the
la mini-carte qui est
robes
derrière moi.
from the account linking.
Thank you. I do look good. And this is our first look at the Hufflepuff Common Room.
On a un effet actif.
Dorm room.
Dorm room.
Yeah. This
On a
is
les
awesome.
compétences en appuyant sur
Alan,
R2.
what are we seeing right here with the UI? Because this is our first look.
Yeah. So right now, we know there's been a lot of questions about the HUD because this is the first time we're showing it. So kind of going over it from right to left, on the bottom right is what we call our spell diamond.
Ouais.
So those are, everything that you see in it are slottable spells. So we have over 20 slottable spells that you can earn over the course of the game.
Okay.
And that's where the player can place them and use them and access them very quickly. To the top left of that is, you'll see the D-pad, and on the left is an eyeball, and on the right is a bit of a grid. So,
c'est pas des compétences, en fait, il explique que c'est des sorts assignables, il y en a une vingtaine. Et en fait, c'est pour agir sur l'environnement.
That are used in very specific contexts or that we just want on the controller all time.
Par contre, vous voyez que ça, là, ça veut dire que le jeu il est jouable sur une séquence et il y a peut-être moyen qu'il y ait une preview qu'on puisse vous partager sur la chaîne. Il va falloir que je retourne harceler Warner.
Be going into the spell slotting menu because we feel like there's a lot of spoilers there. You know, like what are all the spells and what can we do?
I would like spoilers, but I understand.
But we do want to make sure there's still some goodies left to share with everyone. And then on the left side, that thing that has the L1 button next to it, that's another thing where we don't want to spoil, but basically that's where you access your tool wheel.
Ça tourne
so
sur
there's a
PS5
lot
là,
of
actuellement.
magical tools that you're going to be kind of brewing and growing over the course of the game. And so that's where you would access them rapidly is our tool wheel.
Okay, cool.
There are a few things that I left off the table on the right. The green bar is your health, and basically there's a potion next to it. That's how you might heal. The bar above it, we're keeping a secret for now. I apologize. And all the way on the left is our mini-map with a kind of overhead view of where you are currently in the common room that updates as you travel through
Hogwarts and beyond the world. Il sort aussi sur PC, les gars. Ne vous inquiétez pas, pour le coup.
Because we know they exist. There's also options to move the mini-map and turn on or off different elements of our HUD.
Really immerse yourself.
On pourra désactiver des éléments de la TH.
As we get into combat, but that's what you're seeing there, and this is our HUD.
Also, Andrew's giving us a good look over here. I want to call out. I'm a big fan of the bedside tables in the dormitories. Very nice.
Que je cache la carte. Attendez, je vais vous la montrer. La carte elle est comme ça.
Honey-colored wood was mentioned in the writing. It's part of lore.
It's part of lore. There we go. All right.
Je la trouve pas trop ouf non plus, mais ça va. Enfin, il y a mieux, mais.
We really tried making these low-ceilinged dorms to give you that Badger set sort of feel.
And the first thing I know is the music. The score is amazing.
C'est vachement bien. Hein.
And I'm calling out here, this is unique music that you're hearing for the Hufflepuff Common Room.
Il y a des musiques dédiées à des salles communes, comme là c'est le cas pour la salle commune de Poudlard.
Music's a little bit different, and that is entirely intentional.
We just want to welcome you.
Franchement, c'est classe.
Common room in every single house, just a little bit differently.
C'est un trou de Hobbit, ouais.
Oh my God, so look at that.
I mean, beautiful design. We could spend like the entire rest of the stream just in the common room here and talking about it, and I'm sure Boston and James could be like just geeking out over it.
All the details come from J.K. Rowling's writing.
Parce que c'est vrai que dans les films, il faut le préciser, la salle commune de Poufsouffle, en fait, on l'a jamais vue. Harry n'y va jamais. Et dans les bouquins, elle est pas tellement mise en avant. Enfin, je crois que Harry y va qu'une fois et encore, ou alors c'est d'autres personnages qui la décrivent. Donc je pense qu'ils ont dû demander à J.K. Rowling des informations plus précises sur la salle pour qu'elle puisse donner les détails parce que oui, il y en a pas eu des masses dans la saga en fait. C'est la seule salle commune où on n'a pas eu beaucoup d'infos, je crois.
But I know you don't want to leave, but we're going to be leaving.
Thank you. I understand. Whoa, the sound effects though. Like, looking back at the past trailers, it was just music, but kind of hearing how Hogwarts is now, it's so cool.
It's tactile.
Yeah.
Andrew's going to make use of one of our spells, Revelio.
Use Revelio right here, because there's a little magic going on.
You notice a little something there. Yeah. So, these are something that we kind of interchangeably call Revelio pages or lore pages. And you'll notice a bunch of things pop up on the screen.
Yeah.
You see that we got some XP for it. And you can also see that we've advanced something called like a field guide challenge.
Alors techniquement, le jeu sera à 60 FPS. Cela dit, après ce qui s'est passé avec Gotham Knights, on peut voir. Ah mais pareil, Nico. Pareil.
Maybe something you may or may not be able to tickle there. But in our game, we had to answer the question, you know, we're a late fifth year. What does that mean? How do we catch up?
On vient d'arriver.
Okay.
And so we have an answer to that question, and it's given to you by the staff. So there's something that we call the Wizard's Field Guide that's granted to you.
Non, ça c'est intéressant. Ça veut dire qu'en fait, on n'a jamais étudié la magie avant d'arriver à Poudlard. Il est catapulté en 5e année, donc il va devoir passer des buses, mais il n'a jamais été révélé comme étant un sorcier avant.
You can see in our pause menu, it's got this book theme.
Wow.
That's your Wizard's Field Guide, and you can see your house kind of crest overlaid over.
Et ça, c'est le fameux.
You can see that on your level as well. So that the field guide has this magical property of looking out into the world around you, and the reason why it's on loan from the Ministry of Magic and the professors have granted it to you as a late fifth-year student is because they want it to help you.
Ah ouais, mais c'est en fait c'est assez ouf parce que j'ai jamais vu ça dans l'univers d'Harry Potter, moi.
So the way it works is, as you discover gameplay in the game, it actually recognizes that as a challenge, which is kind of locked into there.
Okay.
And Andrew, if you go in there, you'll see different types of challenges that are combat challenges, quest challenges, exploration challenges. And you can see field guide pages are on there as well.
So,
il y a un truc par rapport au hibou, il y a marqué All Post au-dessus, à côté de Setting. Après, le 30 FPS, moi personnellement, je m'en fous. Les jeux s'habituent rapidement. Je trouve ça mieux, vraiment, si c'est en 60, et ça me dérange pas. Et j'appelle même les jeux à être en 60. Mais si c'est du 30 obligatoirement, bah, je le ferai quand même le jeu. Hein. Et je m'habituerai de toute façon. On a joué pendant des années en 30 FPS, sauf les joueurs PC. Mais...
There are over 100 field guide pages just in Hogwarts alone.
Little glimpse of the grand staircase here. We're not gonna...
Circular staircase.
All the portraits.
Non, mais Poudlard, c'est
dinguerie. Ignite right there, which was so cool.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Fast travel points there. House hourglasses. We had to. How much fun was it designing those and putting all those in
gorgeous,
there?
But that they're there just like in the books.
Yes.
Right next to the Great Hall.
It's a nod to lore. House points is not a core mechanic.
Les effets de lumière sont un peu classiques, mais cool.
But it's definitely present throughout our narrative, and there are lots of choices where we want to nod to things that aren't necessarily gameplay systems, but we nod to them as part of the narrative.
Over to the right there, Andrew was teasing. That's the Great Hall over through those doors. Again, we're not going there. He's just kind of like, no.
Cool.
Here's another collectible page. You know, just again showing you like just these things around Hogwarts that you can do and pick up and.
That's a shot straight from the trailer too.
Le jeu sera aussi sur PS4.
Might be giving you a little fan service here with callbacks to those. So.
And this must be summertime because I noticed these are the summertime windows. These windows will change with
Le jeu sera aussi sur PS4 et Xbox One.
I get surprised by it all the time.
Sa fourmille de détails, Poudlard, c'est juste ouf en fait.
Oh man.
On va sortir.
We're going out.
Il n'y a pas de temps de chargement. Okay. Oh là là, la cour elle est tellement bien. Il n'y a rien, hein, mais c'est comme dans les films. C'est ouf. Et la distance d'affichage est pas mauvaise. Hein. Et oui, n'oubliez pas qu'on est sur YouTube. C'est compressé. Ah, quoique je parlais de distance d'affichage là au loin, et petit brouillard quand même. Et franchement, les gens qui sont sur le balai et tout. Ah, c'est stylé.
Not just with student population, but even just the greenery and stuff. It's Scotland. Yeah. And this castle's been here for hundreds of years, so just kind of the moss and all the trees that have overgrown it.
Oh my gosh.
That landscape, that Scottish.
This location might look a little familiar to you.
I thought I recognized it. I believe this is from the spring.
Lui, ça fait un hardcore par contre.
And yes, so that puzzle right there, that view, Andrew is taking us right back to that.
I am going to tell Andrew not to interact with that puzzle and to keep moving on. No. We can't spoil everything. We can't give you everything, right?
Il n'y a jamais de temps de chargement dans Poudlard.
Oh my God.
But this is this grand entryway right here coming down into a really kind of central area.
Yeah, we're coming upon the central hall, and we pointed out the greenhouse outside, and we'll notice when we get down there that it's on the right.
This is a big hub of the school. Like it's a big castle, but it is designed so you shouldn't get very lost. This is kind of a grand central station.
I love that.
Each direction, you know, it's green over there.
Le travail sur Poudlard, il est monstrueux. Franchement, il est monstrueux.
You know, the library straight ahead, so it's kind of a
c'est super beau.
Oh my God.
A lot of the castle.
Even the color, visually, you can just tell, okay, green,
greenhouse.
Oh my God.
A lot of it will be subconscious, but it'll help you really learn the castle and feel like you know your way around.
That's not to say that it's easy to learn. All of us here still get pretty lost in it on a daily basis. It's a castle.
Great point.
Pour le moment, je suis pas déçu par ça.
I love that Andrew's definitely teasing a lot of things here. I'm noticing he's swinging the camera this way and that.
Yeah.
He's got this grin on his face over there that's just like, yeah, I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing.
From the reveal trailer. There's that dragon. Oh my God.
This is another location where the students will gather, you know, and just kind of chill out.
And an opportunity to talk to somebody, get a.
Yeah. Moi, je suis pas mécontent que ce soit full solo personnellement pour te répondre, Loki.
Is everything all right?
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm Nelly, by the way. I'm just so
Encore des petits
excited
détails à
that
régler en
the
termes
Daedalian
de
keys
mixage,
are
hein, mais.
The what keys?
The Daedalian keys.
Ça fait un peu
Surely
trop.
you've seen them flying about. Rumor is that a former headmistress, Professor Moll, conjured
C'est ça
them
que
to
notre
protect
personnage
the
parle du coup.
contents
Ça
of
c'est cool.
certain locked cabinets years ago. Professor Black couldn't be bothered to disenchant the keys, and they appear every few years. You should try to catch one.
Why would I do that?
Each key will lead you to a locked cabinet somewhere in the castle.
Donc un peu de mise en scène, il y a beaucoup de chant contre chant, mais bon. Mais oui, c'est les effets sur la voix, c'est 2-3 effets. Hein, pas... Plusieurs choix de dialogue. Fin de réponse. Ou c'est juste des questions supplémentaires? Non, c'est des questions supplémentaires.
I hope you do. In fact, I think I heard one of the keys in the astronomy tower. You should listen for them.
So those kind of side quests are really, it's a cool way to interact with your fellow students, with perhaps other teachers, with, you know, various things like that, as well as teach you some more of the secrets of Hogwarts, I think.
Du mixage sonore à revoir un peu, la distance d'affichage, c'est un peu à corriger vite fait. L'animation faciale qui fait un peu poteau, on a un peu le syndrome Horizon là pour le jeu. Mais paradoxalement, ça te promet une immersion de malade mental. C'est ça qui est fou.
Can affect things game wide. Some of these affect characters.
Je pense que le jeu sera en français, vous inquiétez pas.
The ending of the game.
And sometimes it's just about you being a little bit of a nice guy or just being a jerk.
Yeah, absolutely. So the scale really varies, but
c'est vrai que ça fait déjà plus de 15 minutes.
Those opportunities exist for the player.
Wow, look at this.
This is the Dada Defense Against the Dark Arts.
Ah.
Tower, which this is one of my favorite locations in the castle. Just visually, you come in here and just the richness of this area.
It is very iconic, very unique to anywhere else in the castle.
Somebody else that we can talk to, notably a younger student.
Yeah, she looks like a first year or an 11-year-old.
Are you all right?
Don't you know who I am? Zenobia Noak, the girl whom everyone at school hates for no reason.
Ouais, plusieurs réponses.
Everyone hates you. Why?
Because Hogwarts is full of bullies and spoilsports. Leander Pruitt's one of the worst, that no-talent moon mind. I wanted to make some new
J'adore cet accent anglais.
And so I brought my collection down
bien
to the
british
common
là.
room. My gobstone collection, that is. I was hoping someone would want to play. Are you familiar with gobstones? Little balls, like marbles. Grand game. And if you lose, they spray you with a foul-smelling liquid.
Sounds awful.
I haven't much interest in a game that sprays you with odors.
Only if you lose, which I never do. Or at least, not often.
Oui, l'audio est à revoir, oui. Il y a un mixage à faire.
Just because they're sprayed all over with smelly gobstone spit, it's their own fault for losing. Imelda is one of the worst losers. Everett and Astoria are terrible as well. And now those poor
Ils ont jamais dit que c'était next gen, hein. Le jeu sort sur PS4 aussi.
And hidden them in very high places all over the school.
Sounds as if you caused the smelly situation and they responded accordingly.
I didn't make the rules. Anyway, I can't work out how to get them back on my own. I don't think I know the necessary spells yet. I need someone, perhaps a selfless and talented 5th year to help me.
On a fait un petit tour dans Poudlard, Nanaki. Ils ont montré aussi un peu le système de customisation, mais de toute façon il y aura la rediff.
I love that interaction with her because there's so many ways that you can go with that. You can you can feel for her, you can be a jerk to her, you can be like, Gobstone sounds awful. It sounds like you're just mean.
Yeah, and your opportunities to be mean there aren't over.
Oui, mais il n'y a pas de système de moralité, c'est ça qui est dommage.
That's a good example of the
Gobstones too. I know people are gonna ask, Gobstones playable? They mentioned it, right?
Yeah. So yeah, Gobstones is one of the things that is not playable in the game. I know we've had to rip the Band-Aid off on a few things. Honestly, it's an amazing thing on the franchise how many things about this, like like speak to us as fans and that we want to turn into gameplay. And there were calls that we had to make over the course of production of kind of like which things we will and won't include in the bucket, just kind of for the overall
Wizard's chess.
Those are things that aren't featured.
They're featured within the
Il y a certains coins dans Poudlard qui sont plus médiévaux, qui sont plus médiévales que d'autres.
There was something that we regretted because we couldn't include it. We also tried to figure out a way to make sure that it was included in the narrative, included in the stories, make sure that there's a way to kind of like acknowledge it, touch it, you know, and make it feel like it's definitely part of the world.
Même salle, c'est ouf.
And I know here
Franchement, il l'a vraiment bien refait.
I was like, we're in the Defense Against the Dark Arts class. I recognize that staircase to the left.
Tout le monde le reconnaît, wesh.
Andrew was walking by. I also recognize the dragon
at
the very
aussi.
top. Oh my gosh.
Qui tombe d'ailleurs dans le 2, je crois.
I think this is a good opportunity to talk about how classes work because we've gotten a lot of questions.
Les petits animaux qui le.
Schedule-based system.
Les petits démons là volants qui le font tomber.
Yeah, so ultimately we decided not to go the sim route. So I think like one of the speculations was, is there time of day and you know that kind of thing. Like, can I miss class at this time of day?
There is a day-night cycle.
Yeah, there is a day-night cycle, but everything is very narrative based.
Okay, tout est basé sur la narration. Il y a pas, c'est pas trop une simulation dans Poudlard.
In the narrative, and we essentially see it as kind of like chapters in that narrative. Each chapter of which has a set of missions that you can choose between as you're progressing through the game, and classes fit within that structure. So there are mainline things that the players have to do, and then classes also appear on the sides as well as optional things that help you advance your spells. It's absolutely true that classes provide all
que les choix auront une grosse influence sur l'histoire.
Your spells, your major abilities, you get to know the professors. Each one of them has these bespoke kind of events and moments in those missions. And then there are also additional opportunities outside of that through kind of like side classroom missions essentially, where you can learn additional spells or things that you need in your adventure and also get to know the professors better.
And I just want to call out something that Andrew's been kind of showing off, ways to kind of interact with the environment and just engage with the world, and you know, maybe down there.
Oui, je ferai une vidéo résumée sur les infos, parce que
Victorian high, you know.
High society.
I just no wonder you like this area because we built it for like the purebloods and the Slytherins.
Oh, come on.
Well, like speaking of lived
vachement beau ici là.
The sound effects again, the chatter of the communication that's happening and the footsteps, like it just makes it feel more alive.
Little events like that, the brooms going by overhead.
I just saw a broom go by. Love that. The data tower was one example, but no two hallways should look the same in Hogwarts. It has a lot of personality. Every hallway should be a little bit different, and that's
et c'est aussi ce que je me disais, je remarque qu'en fait, chaque partie du château est bien représentée quand même, et a sa propre identité.
But every hallway will have a little bit of a different personality and.
Alors certes, l'architecture est un peu uniformisée.
Personality, I like that.
Je pense que les ailes sont pas les mêmes.
Hogwarts has character. Hogwarts is its own character, no matter where you go.
Yeah.
Feels just a little bit different.
Yeah.
It's a sentient castle full of magic for hundreds of years. Yeah. It's going to kind of grow and develop. Oh, I heard something.
Yeah. Speaking of characters.
Speaking of magic, Mr. Magic himself.
Alors lui, par contre, il aime bien harceler les élèves quand même.
Building on lore too. I know there's that statue over to the side. That's.
Do you know who that is?
Lachlan the Lanky, and he's got his Bowtruckle friend. And I think if players don't know, there's another Revelio page there.
Yeah, there's a map of Argyllshire. We know the fat lady hides there.
Hides behind it. That's right.
On arrive. D'accord.
Third book. But sometimes a hallway has personality by how it looks, or we just passed a music hallway where the portraits.
Franchement, si le jeu arrive à me convaincre alors que c'est en stream YouTube en 1080p, je me demande à quoi ça va ressembler en 4K 60 sur PS5 et Xbox Series quand même. Parce qu'il y a des trucs, c'est super beau.
So here we are
vachement propre.
at the owlry. We're looking directly at the owlry to show you all of the owls.
It's a lot of owls.
It's a lot of owls at the owlry.
I love the fog rolling down now.
Great callback. Great call.
No, I also love that as one of my favorite things about.
Moi, je le prends comme un jeu cross-gen personnellement. Ils n'ont jamais dit que c'était full next-gen.
that I can visit. I just love that sensation,
That's
knowing
so
that is
cool.
real.
That lovely Scottish countryside.
We're kind of closing out our mini tour of Hogwarts, and again, it was but a fraction of this enormous castle. But we're closing it out here in the Clock Tower.
Cool,
so
ça.
another recognizable location. But this is where Crossed Wands, which is the secret, not so secret dueling club, is that the students have put together. Professors definitely know about it, but they think they're being clever. And it's run by this Lucan Brattleby here.
Who's in a younger year, but we kind of like that that he's running things.
Hello, Lucan. May I use the training dummy?
Of course. I'll fetch it and give you a list of combinations to practice. Ready to have a try now?
That would be wonderful.
Be sure to cast all your spells before
Je
the
suis carrément
game
d'accord,
starts.
zapping. Hein.
If you need to stop practicing before you finish all of them, let me know.
And this is a really good opportunity to now jump into combat, because really in the game, this is going to be the first time
les
you
macanes d'entraînement
yourself get to learn about
Dans l'ordre du
combat
Phénix,
and
bien
combos
sûr.
in a big way and in a new way. For me personally, this was where the game like really starts to open up to the possibilities.
Yeah. So we've set up a training dummy, and this is kind of an activity where you're supposed to execute according to kind of the iconography on the top. Now, what we see on the top is the Accio spell, followed by 4 what we just kind of lovingly refer to as basic shots. There's certain spells what the wizards kind of like use, just kind of fling. Andrew's using one now. And you trigger that by tapping R2 on your controller. So you can see in the corner R2. So if you tap R2, that throws out a basic shot. But that R2 is also your gateway to all of the spells that you might slot. So if you hold R2 instead, you can see how the diamond expands.
On maintient et
And
on
if we
lance
let
un
go,
sort.
you see how it contracts.
Yeah.
And so if you hold it again, it expands. And so when it expands, then all the spells that you slotted while you're holding that button can now be tapped with your face buttons.
Awesome.
And not only that, but over the course of the game, you can gain additional
16
spell
en accès
diamonds, up to
instantané.
4 additional ones, so that you can slot up to 16 spells, you know, pretty much instantly. And then that helped us fulfill the fantasy of in combat, I need to be able to access
C'est
things
pas mal. Ça.
very rapidly.
Yeah.
And so you learn over the course of these events, you know, how to
Salut,
juggle
Rouge.
not just the spell casting,
Bah, c'est une bonne
but also
soirée.
it reinforces an understanding of another feature of the wheel, which is their cooldowns. So as you're casting spells, just to make sure that you're not just kind of like repeatedly using one thing over and over and over again, you can see cooldowns on the spells that he's using on the wheel. And then as you progress through the game, there are different things that can affect things, like cooldowns through your talents, different things that allow you to kind of like juggle and adjust and update those things. And so if you hold down R2 and you tap the
En fait,
D-pad, it will
si vous
switch
avez joué à
between
Odyssey,
your
vous allez
other
voir que c'est à peu
diamonds
près
if you've
pareil en
unlocked
termes de
them.
compétences.
And that's how you access all those.
Oh man. It looks like we're about to get some action over here.
Yeah. So this is a great way to kind of learn
Oui, j'en parlerai,
how
Yasli.
to pull things together,
So you
pull those
Leviosa
combos
right
together.
Here. Yeah. Tap, Accio, tap, tap, tap. Awesome.
Well
Good
done,
job,
Andrew.
Andrew.
And that's just against the dummy, but I mean,
I'd say that's enough practice. You looked good out there.
Thank you, Lucan.
I say better to discover one's weaknesses during practice than during a duel.
Pourquoi c'est un gamin de 3ème année qui a des mannequins à entraînement là? Oui, si vous avez joué à Odyssey, Assassin's Creed, vous avez le même système de compétences. Enfin, d'action. En maintenant R2 ou RT, vous avez ces losanges aussi. Sauf que là, c'est pour lancer des sorts directement. Dans Odyssey, c'est pour les compétences spéciales.
Pause the action and talk about what you're seeing on the screen, because there is about to be a lot going on.
Okay.
All right, here you can select if you want to fight with somebody else, some of your classmates.
On peut choisir
But in
son
this case,
camarade.
we
D'accord.
want that action to feel a little more frantic towards you to really.
Je crois que le lock peut être direct aussi. Hein.
Of combat.
So apparently you've got quite the reputation because they've got
D'accord,
you up
donc c'est les
against
duels.
people.
3, yeah. Off the jump.
So I can explain.
Ah non,
this,
attends,
just 'cause
duel
I know
avec
people
3
are gonna go
personnes?
into it, but we can probably just kind of jump in.
Mais vous avez pas un tout battre comme ça non plus là?
you're not the only one that has Protego and the ability to deflect. The enemies do too.
Il va se faire manger le petit là.
So you notice that there are different colored kind of shields around the different characters, and you also notice that your spells have different colors on them. So to help players understand kind of like the function of their spells, we're trying to put them into brackets. So there are damage spells, there are force spells, there are I'm forgetting the other one, all this control spells. And so those things for the player, they wind up also being a color indicator for which actual spell to use to break the different shields that enemies can use. That way it rewards kind of like that close attention that you're paying on things.
We've got this paused here now, and you can kind of see all the elements on the screen, the halo around the avatar's head, each of the different shields, to kind of give us a breakdown of what's going on.
Give us a breakdown of different things that you're saying. So you notice at the top that we're kind of like calling out which enemy you currently have targeted and their level and health, and so as you target different characters, you'll be able to get that breakdown. The halo over your head, whenever an enemy is about to an attack, it's almost like you have a little bit of a sixth sense for those things that are coming. If you see the halo, it means there's an incoming attack, and if you tap the triangle button by default, then that you'll be able to deflect that attack that comes in and off with Protego.
And I love that deflect where it goes off and like hits things up and kind of breaks things off walls too.
But also, if you hold the button, then it doesn't just deflect. It also deflects and turns around with a counter attack stupefy that actually stuns the enemy.
Avant, en termes de gameplay manette en main, si c'est intuitif. Enfin, gameplay magique comme ça, c'est compliqué. Le dernier que j'ai essayé, c'était Forspoken et c'était pas incroyable. J'espère que.
Into gameplay here, Andrew's gonna pretty handily finish these other students off here, win this duel.
How fast it is. It's like a dance.
Les gars, c'est des élèves.
Yeah, we really felt like
ça se balance des trucs sur la gueule. Là.
We really felt like in the movies, there's almost like a.
Ils ont le droit de faire ça dans Poudlard?
It's kind of like
pas sûr.
There's this element of kind of like fencing from a very great distance.
That's such a good call.
And there are a lot of things that we had to do with our controls and combat system in order to kind of capitalize on that idea that's pretty unique to the Wizarding world.
Understandable.
Yes. Well, perhaps you should try that next time. The other duelists have already taken notice of you, but after that last round, they'll really
ouais, modélisation de visage,
animation
faciale, petits trucs à revoir quand même pour la sortie.
I'll let you know when we're ready. Hope to see you then. The next round is for all the gobstones, so to speak.
Ce sorcier est également youtubeur.
And that is more or less going to wrap it up for us for now, for what we wanted to show you. Character creator, tour of Hogwarts, and just that little taste of combat. But we didn't want to leave you without maybe a little taste of something that we're
maybe next
show
time
in the future, may show next time. So leaving the castle, going out here.
Oh, le pont, il est iconique. Je pense que pour le prochain, ils vont montrer le Préholar.
Owl mail. There's the owlery again. Yes, all of the owls. But yeah, just heading out here again to show you like from Hogwarts.
Mais attends, aller dans le monde extérieur de Poudlard, ça se fait 100 ans de chargement par contre? Parce que j'ai l'impression qu'on peut se barrer là en fait, non?
We will definitely be taking you in the future.
Je pense que c'est la zone. C'est hyper classe.
A glimpse at the scale of the castle back there. All right, so we're going to wrap things up here, but I hope you guys have enjoyed everything that you've seen. But I think, James, you may have a few other questions here at the end of things. So while we're done with what we're showing on the gameplay side, I know there's a few things that you want to pick Alan and Boston's brains about.
I would love that, because there's a lot. All right, so some of these questions we did pull from the community. Secretly, but I did pull for the community. So,
and also from, going through this, I feel like you've come up with some things you want to talk a little more about. I'm sure.
Elaborate on, because we went through character customization, Hogwarts itself, and even combat. So, this would be like for the both of you guys.
Parce qu'on pourra modifier la personnalisation de notre personnage. Pas du tout. Alors par contre, on pourra changer la coiffure. D'accord.
With hairstyle, hair color, so kind of like core shapes. You know, like with the body and face not after the fact.
Okay.
But there are
Il y a un
lots of
coiffeur.
things. There's
Donc
kind of
voilà,
a barber
pour
shop
aller au
and
préolard pour
costume
vous
that you
coiffer.
can go to.
Voilà.
And
Of course, there's
inside
a
of
wizard
there,
barber.
C'est l'info.
Yeah.
You could change your hair color for holidays or something, right?
Oh my gosh, that would be so cool.
Oui, enfin ça va,
It features a
tranquille.
lot of,
Il a joué à Cyberpunk,
appearance
ce garçon?
customization in it. So there's a ton of options there. But that's in terms of like your character and stuff that you have, the character creator, it's like a smaller set of what you saw there.
Okay. Oh my gosh, awesome, awesome. Next question, what kind of leisurely activity can we do?
Activité de
with
loisirs.
our free time? I mean, what will we
prends des
do
notes, hein.
just hanging out in Hogwarts?
Because as you progress through the game, there's a bunch of different missions that open up. Most of them are driven by different characters' personalities. You know, some of them want help getting up to hijinks, or some of them want to just explore secrets in the castle because there are new secrets in our castle to explore. And so, so I think there's a bunch of things to do. When it comes to class, as I mentioned earlier, it's not just kind of like the mainline stuff. They're kind of like extracurricular assignments, some of which are optional, some of which are kind of like blockers for main mission. Kind of like you can't go on this mission until you have the spell. And then the spell is open, you know, the assignment and how you complete it with your professor. And so there are opportunities to study, so to speak, like with that. But they do all take the form of our mission structure.
As you mentioned earlier. Wow. Let's get into some combat right quick. Do spells have different levels, or are they all equal?
Do spells have different levels, or are they all equal? I'm trying to think of how to describe that. So each spell has kind of like its own core identity and what it does in the game with regards to both kind of like puzzling, world exploration, and
c'est vrai qu'il y a un câble blanc ce bouquin.
Kind of stuff. And then it's through the talent system. Right? When you go into that, it's kind of like each of those spells has ways to kind of like advance and grow and change. And as you spend talents, in some cases, it even changes like the way you approach the battlefield and things like that. So I'd say that's no more true than with like dark arts, for example. And as you go down that line and you kind of play around with those talents, it really does start to kind of like affect even how you approach combat and how you think about
Momo, si Caris n'avait pas mis la lumière sur ce rang.
Won't be touching the dark art stuff, but I know many of you guys will be.
Maybe on your second playthrough?
Second playthrough, yes. Dark Hufflepuff coming.
Je vous jure que j'ai pas fait exprès de m'habiller comme ça aujourd'hui. Je vous promets.
I want to close off with this question, and this will be for everybody, and we'll start with Boston. With this game that you guys have been working on for however long, and the excitement you guys have, what's one aspect of Hogwarts Legacy that you are excited for the fans to experience? Boston.
I think I'm just excited for the fans to play through the world, specifically the castle, and maybe go read those books again.
Non, je pense pas, Chalix.
I hope that whether you're already a fan and love this game, or this is your first introduction into the world, I hope they just point at each other in the best way possible. And
En plus, c'est vrai que les mangements n'existaient pas à l'époque.
Finally go to Hogwarts and feel like.
On va recevoir une démo, je pense, pour la presse. Là, ça sent la preview qui peut arriver.
Official 5th year.
Il y a des chances.
It's really funny because I want to give a different answer and I will, but I actually feel like the most honest answer is really similar. Because my favorite thing when running around, playing the game, and getting to know Hogwarts the way Boston knows it, because she knows the school and the lore better than I do.
Moi, les bouquins, je les ai tous lus, mais
because you want the person architecting to really know that. But when I rewatch the films or I'm rereading passages from the books, there's a different relationship to those things having played the game. And so it's really looking over the edge and seeing location. I'm like, oh my God, I'm right there. And in the movie saying, I know what's around that corner in the film. Like if you go down this way, there's actually a thing over here, and there's this person over here, and this thing happened, and it just adds all this richness to everything that you already love.
And not just that, but you're going to add your own story. So you know what happens around that corner because you did something.
And then the quick answer, just to have something different, is I just love being on a broom. I just love looking at the whole world and just being like, okay, I can just go.
I can go there.
Mais c'est un club de duel un peu clandestin, j'ai l'impression quand même, Romain. Le club de duel, normalement, ils sont sur une table, il y a un prof à côté quand même. Hein. C'est un club lancé par des élèves. Hein, quand même.
And wrapping it up, you know, for me, it's just bringing the community together with it and
hein.
sharing those stories because it is your story and you are going to be writing. You know, this is your unique experience within this, and even within the things that are the same, it's going to be your unique experience. It's different from mine. It's different from. We're all approaching it from different places, and
c'est clairement le fake club.
It's going to be really cool the way that everybody brings those things together. All right, and that's everything that we have to show you today. I know maybe it wasn't everything you wanted to see.
J'en veux d'autres.
Character creator, little mini tour of Hogwarts there, just a small part of it, a little bit of combat.
Ça a duré 45 minutes hein, quand même.
We do have some more stuff coming up for you in the future. Hogwarts Legacy releases on February 10th,
10 février, il rappelle, hein, 2023.
For pre-order now.
Déjà en préco.
But that's going to do it from us. We're going to leave you with a little something else, but for now, bye.
Il y a un petit one more thing. Il y a un petit one more thing. Ah, c'est le trailer. Okay. Et bah franchement, je suis content. Il y a des trucs à corriger un peu, ça c'est sûr. Mais on part sur une très bonne base. Très bien. Voilà donc les amis pour cette présentation de Hogwarts Legacy, bien sûr. Et c'était, ma foi, fortement sympathique. Voilà. Je vais fermer le fond vert. Et puis, eh bien c'est parfait. Eh bien écoutez, voilà donc comment est-ce que ça se passe, voilà donc comment ça rend. J'aimerais bien avoir un peu votre petit point de vue là, du coup, sur ce qu'on a pu voir, votre note sur 10 par rapport à cette petite présentation. N'hésitez pas un peu à me dire tout ça, c'est parti, faites-vous plaisir. Et puis je pense que c'est cool. Moi, pour donner mon avis un peu globalement, sur 10, je mettrais un peu la note de 8 ou de 9. Parce que déjà la direction artistique est juste géniale. C'est un truc que j'adhère complètement, j'achète. L'univers est ultra immersif, les musiques sont cool, le sound design, pas pour les dialogues, sont vraiment bien aussi. À voir aussi par contre en termes négatifs sur le mixage audio, vraiment qui est peut-être à corriger hein, avant la sortie, c'est sûr. Par rapport à la mise en scène aussi dans les dialogues. Alors après on n'a pas vu de grandes cinématiques d'histoire, mais pour les chants contre chants je commence à en avoir un peu marre honnêtement. Il y a beaucoup de ça dans beaucoup de jeux en ce moment et c'est un peu relou. Les animations faciales sont à revoir un peu aussi. Malgré tout, sur tout le reste, que ce soit sur tout ce qu'on a vu en fait. Même pour les combats, moi je trouve que je suis rassuré. Après j'ai vraiment hâte d'y jouer. Je sens là qu'il va y avoir une preview bientôt. Je pense que bientôt on va pouvoir y jouer, donc ça va être bien cool. J'ai trop hâte pour que je puisse vraiment vous donner mon avis au global et vraiment détaillé sur plein de points différents du jeu. Si Warner se décide à faire une preview, si jamais il décide de rendre le jeu jouable pour la presse, etc. Donc moi je suis content, voilà, je suis content. Là majoritairement on est sur du 8 sur 10, du 8, du 9. Majoritairement vous avez plutôt bien aimé aussi. Alors, certains évidemment sont pas trop convaincus par le truc, ce que je peux aussi entendre. Mais voilà, 6,5 sur 10. Ça a l'air sympa, mais à voir en vrai. Ça reste un bon 6,5 sur 10. Mais je le prendrai en tous les cas. À force de jouer, je reconnais que je suis devenu, et j'ai pas la suite de ton message, zapping, mais je vois un peu ce que tu veux dire. Combat aimbot, déçu quand même. Peut-être que le combat sera pas forcément aim à chaque fois. Je pense que l'aim sera pas toujours activable. Ça dépend des options, mais les options on les a pas vues. Donc pour l'instant, voilà. Et je rappelle un truc important, c'est que ce jeu n'a jamais été vendu comme étant un jeu next-gen, hein, ou le jeu qui va te faire révolutionner le jeu vidéo. Il a toujours été dit dès le départ qu'il sortirait sur PS4 également, sur Xbox One. En fait, ils ont juste dit, on vous promet une expérience d'immersion Harry Potter. C'est ça la tagline du jeu de base. C'est écrivez votre histoire. C'était pas la nouvelle génération de l'open world comme ce qu'a pu faire Cyberpunk à l'époque. Hein. Je vous rappelle que c'était un peu des trucs qu'ils avaient dit à l'époque. Donc moi personnellement, en l'état... moi qui passe en 30 FPS, je m'en fous, honnêtement, parce que dans la mesure où, en fait, l'immersion est complètement là, elle est complètement réussie, donc pour moi c'est un plus. Il y a des choses qui vont pas, mais majoritairement il y a des choses qui vont. Et je suis vachement hypé, toujours. Ils l'ont toujours maintenu. Franchement, et la direction artistique, il y a un travail sur Poudlard qui est juste incroyable. La seule crainte que j'ai, c'est que j'ai un peu peur que les autres environnements soient un peu délaissés parce que dans des séquences de gameplay, ça va sembler un peu bizarre et un peu vide. J'ai peur pour Préshow un peu et pour d'autres éléments un peu plus ruraux. Mais globalement, enfin franchement, c'est un banger ce truc quoi. Franchement, ce jeu a l'air fou. Donc voilà. On a payé 500 boules pour du 60. Oui, mais sauf que ce que je veux dire, c'est que le jeu, déjà, il n'y a aucune confirmation qui sera qu'en 30. Déjà, voilà. Et le 60, il est partout. Hein. Sauf pour Gotham Knights, c'était le seul jeu où vraiment il y avait du 30. Mais les gars, on parle de un jeu sur 2 ans de next-gen, entre guillemets, donc ça va. Et pour acheter une console juste pour du 60, pour moi, c'est pas le seul argument pour acheter une console next-gen. Mais bon, après, c'est mon avis. Vous avez compris un peu le délire. Donc voilà. Moi je suis content, je suis satisfait. J'ai vraiment hâte que Warner continue de communiquer sur le jeu. Continue vraiment de balancer des vidéos. 45 minutes, c'est très généreux. Hein. C'est très généreux parce que là, franchement, je m'habituais vraiment à une communication vraiment très très au compte-gouttes. Là, 45 minutes, ça a été généreux. On avait beaucoup de Poudlard, pas tout, forcément. Donc voilà, oui, je pense que l'ENFIIIIN va être complètement dingue. Mais ça, de toute façon, elle en parlera sur son Twitch et sur sa chaîne. Mais franchement, je pense qu'elle va kiffer ce qui va être... ce qui a été proposé, donc voilà. Donc bah voilà, ma foi, très content une nouvelle fois. N'hésitez pas évidemment à dire dans les commentaires pour ceux qui matent la rediffusion de ce live ce que vous en avez pensé. Et n'hésitez pas également à dire dans les commentaires je suis une crevette si jamais vous avez vu ça jusqu'au bout. Et puis naturellement, bah voilà, je vous souhaite de passer une excellente soirée, un très bon vendredi soir, mais également un excellent week-end. D'autres vidéos débarqueront dans le week-end et on en reparlera évidemment du côté de Hogwarts Legacy très prochainement. Voilà en tout cas par rapport à cet événement Hogwarts Legacy Showcase. Merci beaucoup de l'avoir suivi. N'oubliez pas également, si jamais vous êtes nouveau sur la chaîne, de vous abonner, mais également d'activer la cloche pour ne louper aucune des prochaines vidéos. J'ai été ravi d'être avec vous et d'être votre host pour ce soir. Et puis, bah, d'autres surprises débarqueront sur la chaîne à l'avenir. Et j'ai complètement oublié ma séquence d'outro. Excusez-moi, je vais la rajouter. Momo pas trop professionnel quand même. Hein. Franchement... Momo fait que de la D. Hein. Alors, ma séquence d'outro, elle est où? Programme, stream, outro classique JVM. Voilà, elle est juste là. De gros bisous, à très vite. Ça a été un plaisir, les gars. On se retrouve demain. Attendez, non, même pas. Maintenant, en fait, pour le journal de la PS5. C'est dès maintenant. D'ailleurs, je crois que c'est quasiment terminé. Bref, n'hésitez pas à aller le voir. J'ai complètement zappé que c'était en live. Et on se retrouve demain aussi pour mon grand bilan de la PS5. Parce que ça fait 2 ans qu'elle est sortie. Et je voulais forcément revenir dans une grosse vidéo. Comme ce que j'avais fait sur le bilan des Xbox Series. 2 ans après, qu'est-ce que ça vaut? C'est le bilan next-gen. Demain, 18h50. Je vais passer la vidéo en live d'ici quelques temps. Voilà. Allez, gros bisous. Ciao, bon week-end. À toutes.